You may know that you can play Kid Icarus Uprising on original hardware with a controller. However, I might be the first to do it with mouse and keyboard. That's right, fellas. So today, on Gamer's Paradise,
Where is he? Sir, that is authorized property of Nintendo.
In 2011, after buying the 3DS with my blood, sweat, and rich uncle birthday money, I got nothing. Because seriously, it was $250 for what? Old ass game I was too afraid to go very far in, perhaps? We got an insanely average Mario game later that year, I suppose, but it's pretty obvious that the 3DS's first year on the market was an overall failure. Luckily, the first game they ever showed off for the thing was finally about to be released. A new single-player focus game from Sakurai for the first time in over a decade if you ignore Meteos, finally reviving the long-dormant Kid Icarus franchise. Another battle against Medusa, a very cinematic presentation. It seemed that the one hang-up could potentially be the genre choice. Even on the original DS, people were trying to pretend shooters could work, and Sakurai's control method wasn't exactly unique. To give the madman some credit, what was unique was having something that was just a fix be developed and saying, haha, these mere gamers can't handle my creative vision, so a second circle pad, set them to, that also moves them. Just as Icarus flew too close to the sun, Kid Icarus apparently just flew a bit too close to being perfect. Am I right, gamers? Hey, like and subscribe. To be clear though, this game is absolutely a masterpiece. It just sort of has that fatal flaw you can't appreciate until you play it. Sort of like Daisy Trophy, my favorite game. The setting is basically an alternate universe ancient Greece, with it being ancient Greece and people talking about, oh hell yeah bro, better walk on down to the brocade to pick up some chicks and slay some women. Wait, a character people are pretending is ugly for some reason resurrected herself and is leading an underworld army attack on humans. To give you an idea of how involved the story is, the opening flight is 2 minutes 40 seconds of just gameplay, and around 2 minutes of that is fully voice acted. Obviously that's a bit more than other levels because they have to set up the plot, the characters, the scenario, why Pit now has a sword that shoots laser. Thankfully the voice acting is good and the writing, I mean, it's pretty good. It's definitely made so kids can understand it, which means I, as a grown-ass man, had to sometimes be mad that a children's game didn't entirely appeal to me always. This is bullshit. In the battle to defeat Medusa, there's primarily 3 phases of each level, with very little exception. First up is air battles. They are short, on-rail sections that have a lot going on with visual design, music, plot progression, character development. They kind of do everything and are the best Star Fox levels since the good Star Fox games. Presumably. I never played those games. These sections only last for up to 5 minutes, otherwise Pit canonically fucking dies. A lot of the depth of these sections can be attributed to the millions of weapons you can equip. All-around weapons, sniper rifles, this I guess. There's over 100 individual weapons and a crafting system that I don't understand, but I guess it's good. And that's still only the half of it. Once you land, you're able to use powers, which are cool abilities that can grant you an offensive spell or other utilities. And of course, to add these powers to your loadout, you need to play a game. I'll figure out an analogy for this later, please be patient. And at the end of every stage are boss battles, introducing unique attacks and mechanics that test your decision making as well as your ability to control Pit. With all these actions like dodge rolling, walking, dashing, wave cheating, shooting, and selecting powers, how does it control? Oh yeah. Ouchie. I decided, hey guys, this kinda sucks. So using the power of 3DS Homebrew and a few programs, I managed to change control of my 3DS from my 3DS to a Switch Pro controller connected to my computer. There were two big problems with me doing this. First off, aiming was not analog, it was entirely digital, meaning that if I wanted to nudge my reticle like 27 degrees, it would be going 45 degrees faster than the speed of sound. Fastest hedgehog around. The other thing, I didn't really grow up playing console shooters. Like at all. My first twin stick shooter was Splatoon, which has gyro aiming, so by wanting this setup, I was simply trolling. I played through all the levels with this option anyways. Yeah, all 9 of them, trust me. And let me tell you fellas, for a 9-level game, there were a lot of highs. The Reaper Fortress that gave me a lot of anxiety, the pirate ship that gave me a lot of pretty sights, and Dork Pit, who isn't as bad as a character you would expect considering he's named Dork Pit. Okay, but pre-release though, from what they showed of him, I was convinced he was something really special. Like a very unique dark version of a character who thought he was the original guy. The final level is a face-off against Medusa, and it sure is the final level. Yes, I definitely beat the game. I've definitively beat the game. Man, what the fuck? Yeah, everyone knows at this point that Medusa isn't even close to the end, but they hit it pretty damn well pre-release. I feel super stupid for thinking this game could only be 9 levels, but then again, Steel Diver. Now 9 years ago in my initial playthrough, I thought I wouldn't like Hades as much as Medusa, but he proved to be more interesting and nearly as simpleable, so that's pretty good. So Hades joins the battle, and it was around this point where I looked at this and I was like, this isn't working. Basically, I grew up on TF2, so even though I suck ass, I'm better at aiming with mouse and keyboard. So not even mom can stop me from being an affront to man and goddess, because this game mainly has goddess. Now, there was a script already out there that let you use mouse and keyboard with Kid Icarus, but I was kind of unhappy with it. So I made my own, and by God, it works. I just look dumb as hell. In short, this new script works with both emulator and original hardware, and gives you access to both mouse and keyboard, and yes, true dual analog. However, there is one small imperfection with mouse and keyboard, and that is the movement. I tried to fix this by adding a run button to the setup, and while it did work, it still felt imperfect. And the thing is, I needed a new editing keyboard anyway, so I got this gaming behemoth. The keyboard is entirely analog, meaning I can do something like reassign WASD to an Xbox analog stick, and it's super sick. And that means after all these years, a half-A press is a real thing that wasn't made up for Mario. This extra amount of precision makes the scalable difficulty you might remember from Smash Brothers seem fair. Although sometimes it is frustrating to die, go back to the place you died.
I did it! This isn't over yet!
Occasionally though, as I'm basically streaming inputs over local internet to the 3DS, a connection would drop and I'd be without inputs. This extra amount of control is super helpful for after Medusa when the game really gets going. Enemies become tougher and things that were a big event are just kind of expected now. And of course, Palutena and Hades fighting brings the attention of a third party, Viridi. These characters are your main core throughout the rest of your game. Palutena wants to protect humans. Viridi thinks life is pretty cool, but humans are kinda cringe.
He's a fucking grown man!
And Hades just wants ultimate chaos. Very simple goals, but again, the writing is pretty good, and at the center of it all is Pit, an idiot.
Though I have seen him eat some questionable things off the ground.
Or ice cream gives you help.
From here on out, the game shifts between arcs super fast. First, you're facing Viridi, Wowee, whose army has some of the coolest designs on the system. And then, also, aliens. Now get this, fellas. Troy Baker was in a game called Destroy All Aliens, and here he is, loving aliens. He loves the guys. Curious, isn't it? After Alien, though, we get one of my favorite levels in any game I've ever played. Basically, Pit turns into a ring with no agency. He can only control the person who wears it, and things beautifully move from, oh hey, Palutena's helping everyone still. Yeah, that's wholesome. Never mind, she's fucking lost it. Once Pit gets his body back, he's not saved by Palutena, but Viridi. The game doesn't really get emotional before this, but it was this line that made me think, okay, they probably can do this, huh?
You're praying? To who? You are one confused angel.
I just thought it was a cool line. I don't know. So yeah, Palutena is evil now. And real quick, before we jump into the ending, I feel like just talking about the story is a disservice. There's also a wide amount of side content. We got multiplayer, Sakurai's classic trick that he's been doing since 2003, Tier 3 Sub Simulator. I feel like that last joke needs an explanation. You can spend your hearts to earn weapons in this game because hearts are money, I don't get it either. Or you could throw it away to the goddess to get closer to her. So Tier 3 Sub Simulator. They even had AR card support. And if you're wondering why I look like hot garbage right now, I implore you, don't worry about it. Well, you couldn't buy these in stores or anything. You could still snag them through various free promotions. Like here, I got an alien card. Fuck you, Troy Baker. Skipping ahead, Pit resolves his issues with Dork Pit. It's funnier the third time I say it, I promise. Save Palutena from the being controlling her. Canonically fucking die. Oh wait, that's a bit wacky. Eventually, even that gets resolved. After playing as a character that I'm pretty sure is unique, Dad, Pit obtains the ultimate weapon to defeat Hades. The, Holy Excalibur. Hell yeah, dude. The final boss perfectly encapsulates the experience. It jumps around from concept to concept while Hades and Pit just slowly lose firepower. And then, in the very last moment,
it's hard to believe, but you actually got me, Pit. The nerve of you.
this is cool, dude, okay? And even after you finish the game, thanks to the loot system, powers, and Sakurai's trick, there's still a ton of mileage you can get by replaying it. There's also online multiplayer, which isn't completely dead, but I can't do it because I gave my 3DS the homebrew version of a lobotomy. Did I overplay the game's control issues? Maybe. Now, did I make the controls better? Yes, and I don't know how to end this video. Please, this is really scary.